We are here today to express great pride in Hadassah's signature project, the Hadassah Medical Organization. Wherever we live, from Minneapolis to Maui, from San Diego to Salem, we go back about our lives facing all those challenges, including some of the smaller ones, like worrying about impending snowstorms, not here in Las Vegas, what to serve or where to go for dinner, and things like that. But one part of our lives is bigger than that, grander than that. Yes, I'm referring to our commitment to the Hadassah Medical Organization, where we touch 1 million patients each year, and when our research improves the world of our children and grandchildren. That we, I refer to, is you and me. This isn't someone else's story, my dear friends. This is our story, yours and mine. This plenary pays tribute to what binds us together, the values that go back to Henrietta Zoll's outreach to our great-grandmothers who took up the challenge and built an empire called Hadassah, the Women's Zionist Organization of America. Now, they were home with their children, but they believed they owed something to the children of pre-state Palestine. They had no credit cards, not even their own checking account, nothing about all the technology that we have today. But they found a way to send over those first heralded nurses. I would say the rest is history, but we're here today to not only reflect upon our history, but to plan for the future. Yes, while we inherited our foremothers' values and commitment and passion to make an impact upon our world, now it's our turn. Are you with me? I'm gonna do that one more time, because I really got you started. Are you with me? Yeah, okay. Now we're energetic. This session is dedicated to our roads to discovery and recovery. For all of you who are seeing this on YouTube, this session is live and exciting. We're here at the dawning of a new stage for Hadassah, Shachar, as they call it in Hebrew. So, let's think about what we do best, saving lives, touching people. I could give you the numbers of hospitalization days, the numbers of laboratory tests, how many rugelach are served in the mall outside the hospital, and my personal favorite, the numbers of babies born. I could tell you that 487 research papers were published by our physician scientists this year, but by now that number is probably over 600. And what would that really mean? So here's one from the June 2014 issue of the prestigious Journal of Neurointerventional Surgery, published in Great Britain. No, I'm not going to read you the entire article. I wouldn't understand half of it. But here's the story behind it, and it's a wonderful story. Hadassah's coordinator of development, Helene O'Hayan. Helene, where are you? She's right there. See, this is real-life stories, my dear friends. Helene has a cousin through marriage named Shlomo Berduga. Both Shlomo and his wife, Sarah, are teachers. They live in a small, book-lined apartment in the religious section of Jerusalem with their 10 children. On a recent Monday, Shlomo, who was only 43 years old, was sitting at his computer. He had a headache. He had a cough. He actually thought he was feeling better until all of a sudden he started getting very dizzy. He remembers Sarah phoning for an ambulance. Even though Shlomo's American cousin Helene is a member of the National Board of Hadassah, they didn't insist that the ambulance take them to Hadassah Hospital. They couldn't imagine that he was so sick that he needed one of the hospital's internationally known experts. Probably just the flu, they thought. But when it was clear that something was even more serious and not quite right, Sarah phoned the rabbinic medical consultant, Rabbi Fisher, for advice. He had one word for them. Can you guess what it is? So you could do the script. And of course, it was Hadassah. The MRI and CAT scan revealed the frightening news. Shlomo's carotid artery, the main source of blood to the brain, was perilously narrowed. He needed immediate surgery. Cardiologists say that time is muscle, but we neurosurgeons know that with strokes, time is brain, said Professor Jose Cohn, one of our senior neurosurgeons. Professor Cohn is indeed one of those internationally heralded experts for whom Hadassah is famous. He pioneered endovascular surgery at Hadassah, repairing the very delicate blood vessels to the brain and in the brain itself through minimally invasive entry through the arteries. Amazing surgery. The carotid artery was seriously compromised. And to make matters worse for Shlomo, instead of being a straight line like most arteries, this vital source of blood to the brain was twisted, almost like through the mountains. Repairing such an artery would require fitting together a puzzle of 5 different stents, but even that would be nearly impossible with the extreme blockage and twisting. Verduga's chances of survival were less than 30%. Very, very serious. Even if he survived, he had low chances of having a normal life, certainly not to support his family by teaching the intricate thinking of the Talmud. Indeed, in many medical centers, the surgeon would have apologized and declared the situation inoperable. Not at your hospital, not at Hadassah. Professor Cohn knew that he needed to be creative. There's something we do in Israel, particularly at Hadassah, where the patient's good comes before all other concerns. In other places, the doctor might be thinking of following the known procedure without having to answer afterwards for doing something out of the box. In the meantime, thousands of Verduga's past and present students were praying for his recovery at the hotel. And they wept with joy, literally wept with joy, when they heard that Professor Cohn's innovative approach had saved Shlomo's life. They called it a miracle. But miracles don't happen in a vacuum. They happen when Hadassah assists. So Verduga woke up the very next day in a gorgeous new room in the Sarah Wetzman Davidson, you knew this, right? In the Sarah Wetzman Davidson Hospital Tower. You're glad to wake up at all, he said with a smile. But what a room. A 10-star hotel couldn't be better. It made my recovery so much faster. What a joy to have my wife and family around him. And he continues, and these are his words. I want to thank Professor Cohn, the staff, and the women of Hadassah, whom I know through my cousins, Helene and Michelle Ohayon. I want to thank them for providing both the resources and the spirit that is behind this great hospital. The dream of life-saving is realized through all of you. I thank you in the name of my family, particularly my wife and 10 children. And now, his story is all of our story, to share with our Hadassah family and with your own family. For each of you are really among those being thanked by Shlomo and others you will meet during this plenary. So when I talked about expressing great pride, this is what today is all about.